Ladies and mostly gentlemen, today we're going to talk about coats. Yep, coats. More specifically, we're going to be talking about a few things actually. Firstly, about the speculated Kul'Tiran heritage armor, which has come to light in the last couple of days, and secondly, I'm going to be showing you guys the tricks that Blizzard are using to get these awesome coats to work in-game. And finally, we're going to speculate on whether the long coat items are something that we're going to see on player characters during Battle for Azeroth's lifetime. So let's talk about the heritage armor. So if you didn't know, Blizzard officially confirmed Kul'Tiran humans as a new allied race, which will be coming alongside the Zandalari trolls at some point during BFA, not at the launch though. So obviously with any allied race comes the custom heritage armor, and these are showcased on the official Battle for Azeroth website. But recently they've actually updated the allied race page on their website. So at the very bottom of the page you now have the Zandalari and their heritage armor, then the Mag'har and their heritage armor, then the Dark Irons, and at the very end, you have this fella, a big bad Kul'Tiran male wearing one of the long coats which has been speculated to be an item since the announcement of the expansion. Now does this mean this is going to be their heritage armor? Well, not really. There's a fairly high chance they did just throw this random model in there to show off that Kul'Tirans are coming as an allied race, and they may not have fleshed out the heritage armor for them yet as they're not coming at launch. But on the other hand, it could be a confirmation of the armor. We're really not sure at this point. So this armor in particular is actually already used in game and is worn by two different NPCs in Battle for Azeroth so far. It also comes in a variety of different colours named in the game files as this: green, blue, brown, dark, deep blue and red. So the first NPC you'll see wearing it is actually one of the first Kul'Tirans you encounter on the alpha. This is Provision of Frey, and she's standing right there in Borealis when you first spawn into the game as an alliance. The second is Lieutenant Taranfold, who is in Vigil Hill in Tiragarth Sound. Both of these NPCs are sporting the green version of this gear, and it's worth noting that this set is actually named Kul'Tiras NPC Military in the game files, further speculating that it could only be NPC only. That being said, with a bit of model swapping, you can actually get these coats working on player characters. So the way these items work is like this. Basically, most new sets in WoW have something known as a collections model to go along with them. This is an M2 model file, and the collections are normally used to add 3D assets onto the flat gear sets. And without player models around them, they look something like this. And to my knowledge, different parts of the collections will activate when the specific item is equipped. So if it's some 3D spikes on the gloves for example, they will only show up when you have the linked gloves equipped. At least that's how I assume it works in a very basic way of understanding. So the long coats work like this. They're attached to the chest, and when the chest is equipped, it adds the 3D parts of the coat. Without the 3D parts, it looks something like this, so it's quite clever how it all comes together when equipped. I'm honestly pretty impressed. So yes, these long coats are more than capable of being added to the game as pieces of armor. You're probably wondering why you've only seen humans and Kul'Tirans so far. Well, there's a good reason for this. So far in the game files, there are only files to support models for humans and Kul'Tirans. Currently these items are not supported by other races, but that's not to say that they won't be eventually. I don't think it'd be much of a stretch to add them to the other races if required, as all previous allied race armor pieces have been made to support other races, complete with modified collection files, so don't lose hope just yet. Now, do I think it's possible that we'll see these items being added to players? Well, maybe. Obviously something that looks like this would have to be for cloth and leather users only. It just wouldn't make sense for mail and plate users at all. Currently there are only two different designs for the long coats, which is one that I've shown already and this one here, which is sported by a few of the new characters you'll stumble into during your time in Kul'Tiran. I think if they didn't make it available for players, I think the next best thing they could do is make it part of a toy, possibly for RP players and people who just like long coats I guess. But personally I'd love to see it in the game in some fashion, even if it was used in an item set from a raid and not just used for everyday quest items. It would need to be rare because you know every outlaw rogue in the game will want this as their transmog. Overall, I think the model looks great, and I like the fact that after 14 years, we're still seeing Blizzard think outside the box and add new and awesome gear into the game. I think one minor problem that I have with these coats is that they don't have any physics when running and jumping around. I think if that was added, it would be really impressive, and it would be something that could really change the way that characters look and feel in game. So let me know down in the comment section whether you think this item set would be good as a Kul'Tiran heritage armor, and whether you'd like to see the long coats added to the game for player characters. I'd love to know what you guys think. So before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons and YouTube sponsors. You guys are awesome. If you'd like to support the channel in that way, links are down below. So leave a like on this video if you liked it guys, and subscribe if you haven't. I also have a Discord channel with over 3,000 members. Link is down below. And with that,